Alrighty, 12:31 p.m., 11/24/2020. I hope everyone's doing great. It's been a minute since I made some videos, but I just posted two the last few days of videos I made about this time in October. But for the month of my birthday, I was doing a more of physical, working on my own projects and staying out. I'm on the internet doing Facebook posts, things like that, but wasn't really into making the videos at the moment. I want to take a break, but I'm gonna hit the ground running, and we're tackling a big subject right now that's our health. It's the biggest subject that we could talk about. Really, is how we live our lives, the balance, the homeostasis that we're going for, the goal of being in health. Right now, we're seeing COVID. Yeah, it's a virus, but it's not what they're telling us. So, and it's not as dangerous as what they're telling us. I'm gonna prove that in this video, and we might dig into the mask issue as well. But the main issue I'm gonna deal with right now is how to bring your body back to that homeostasis, that balance, 7.35 to 7.45 pH. That's what we want. So, enough of me talking. Let's get into Dr. Gregg Braden.
Very quickly. It can happen in a matter of minutes.
Pause that for
we have video documentation.
Okay, let me give you a quick synopsis of what's going on here. So what we're seeing, I wonder if my face stays on the screen as I'm recording this. So what we're seeing here is Quantum Healing, a Tumor Using the Power of Thought and Feeling by Gregg Braden. Basically, like I've said in my previous videos, if you watched them, you are manifesting this body. Source has given us the greatest gift, literally the power to create with our thoughts, with our emotions, with our voice, with our physical hands. We are creating this reality. So whenever you're creating something, you need feedback. You need to know what you're creating, if it's in balance or out of balance. Well, a lot of us, myself included, many times in my life, in this life, have been creating imbalance. That brings our bodies out of balance, which causes dis-ease. Your body's not at ease. It's not about worrying about bugs and getting sick from, getting the flu or cold or something. It's not about thinking about outside yourself. Whenever you have a symptom of that, it's a symptom of imbalance. So if your body's out of balance, bugs can attack it. If your body's in balance, bugs won't attack it. So you got to get to the root, get to the cause, not the symptoms. I'm sick of people dealing with symptoms in this world. I was 15 years of that with my surgeons and doctors, just dealing with symptoms and symptoms and symptoms. It's ridiculous. It's short-sighted and by definition insane, if you ask me. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. That's insanity. That being said, we can and will heal all imbalances by understanding. Charlie Freak Sense is his YouTube channel. He's the one that got me saying that understand. And I didn't understand why he said that. I didn't understand it. And I've always said understand. Now, what's his name now? Can't think of his name at the moment, but he's talking about understanding. The word understand, the foundation. You want to understand something, foundation. But I learned in legalese, in our maritime admiralty law system, that all of us are enslaved by. Not all of us, but most of us. If you have a social security number, bank account, credit cards, if your name's all caps on any of that paperwork, that means you're owned by that system. When they say understand, so if like a law enforcement officer or a judge or someone says, do you understand me? They're asking you to stand under them. If you say yes to that, that means you're saying they're in charge of you. They're not in charge of you. Nobody needs to be in charge of you. If you're taking accountability for yourself and your own actions, You don't need anybody in charge of you. Now, if you're living out of balance and just doing things that are harming people, someone's going to take control of you if you allow them to. That being said, we've allowed too many people to take control of us and fall asleep at the wheel, myself included, with all my surgeries. They nearly killed me, and that's what took me to my point when I'm like, all right, you know what, enough's enough, I'm going to figure it out. So thankfully, yeah, it was a blessing in disguise. All the years and years and years of agony, I'm thankful for it. It was a blessing in disguise. It taught me to take accountability for my actions. So, all that being said, that's our groundwork. What we're looking at here in this video is the healing of a woman's tumor with sound thought energy. You're going to see practitioners around her. He's going to explain this while we're watching the video, but I'm going to just give you a ground floor introduction. Your body is literally, if you get in with my other videos, if you watch them, you're manifesting this life. Every thought, every emotion is vibration. It's energy moving. Now, every body is accumulation of vibration. It's water, which is energy, vibrating based on the consciousness that's living in that physical vessel and the consciousnesses around it. We do interact with each other. You can get to the level where nobody can affect your vibration. You're vibrating so high that nothing outside of you can affect you. But a lot of people aren't there yet. We don't remember that. We don't believe it yet. So in this video, you're going to see visual proof of a tumor on a sonogram shrinking. I don't want you to believe it. I don't want you to believe me. I'd like you to, if you choose, research it. Watch my previous videos. Watch the videos we're going to get into here. And you're going to see that the power is in your hands. It always has been. It always has. It always has been, always will be in your hands. Source, in your heart, sacred heart. That power is, that's us. That's our power. So let's get into the video.
From medicineless hospitals in Beijing, China, for example, where they understand these practices and they've employed them for several thousand years. And we can look into the body of a living woman with a cancerous tumor that Western science says is inoperable. And then we can watch as three practitioners that understand the language of human emotion.
They understand.
Create the feeling in their bodies. They're not looking at that tumor as an illness. They see that woman as
see his right hand. He's doing
healthy,
Reiki right now.
Vital, completely
structuring
enabled,
energy like
fully
water.
Capacitated. And as they feel that feeling strongly among themselves, her physical body mirrors that. And we can see it through sonograms. We can see that tumor disappear in less than 3 minutes. And that's how quickly reality can change. And this is where the disconnect comes in with Western science. Because I've shared this information with scientists and medical doctors all over the world, and they said, wow, that's a miracle. We're going to have to come back and study this, and we will.
What you're seeing here, that's not a good spot to pause.
As soon as we find
right there. On the left, you're seeing the tumor before they took a snapshot. On the right, after a few moments, you've seen it shrink down in size. Now again, I don't want you to believe anything. I'm going to show you some visual proof after this.
a cure for cancer, or as soon as we find the cure to cure on a mechanical level, what they see as a mechanical process, and what we now know is our physical body is the outpicturing, is the mirror of
your physical body is the receipt of all your energetic transactions in life. So what this body's showing you what's going on in here and the gut. But what you're putting out to this world, your body's reflecting that. It's showing you
something that is not so physical. And this is where science now is only arriving. The three practitioners in the medicineless hospital in Beijing did not judge that cancerous tumor. They didn't judge it right, wrong, good, or bad. They said it's a quantum possibility, and there are many possibilities. Of course, this is just one. They said, now we're going to choose another one. But this is a subtle and very, very different way of looking at things, because they acknowledge what is and invite a new possibility rather than having a charge on what is there and feeling that somehow we have to manipulate or cut out in the case of a tumor, or change, hammer the physical reality into submission, what they're doing is acknowledging that moment, that example, and they're changing it on the level of what we would call the quantum blueprint. They're feeling the feeling as if another possibility has occurred.
So they're feeling the feeling. Once you feel that feeling, that emotion, and then you think about it, you're adding power to it. That is what manifests this reality. Every possibility is possible. Infinite. So holding a feeling that you choose to manifest is going to make it manifest. Now, what they did there was literally, instead of like with my surgeries that I had, doctors went in physically and cut me open, shaved discs out, put screws in, mounted me upright the way they wanted me, forcing me to be this way, stand that way, instead of asking, well, why did it bend in the first place? Why is your spine carrying so much weight? What are your thoughts? What are your emotions? What's your diet like? So what we're seeing here is the mix, the coming back full circle. Consciousness, at one time we were etheric, we were vibration, we are vibration and etheric, but we were more on that scale of things than the physical. We gradually went to sleep and then thought everything was physical. Now we are waking back up and realizing that the physical is it's beautiful. It's not to be undermined by any means. The physical is important, but it's a symptom of the energetics. It's how it all works. And your doctor, you can go and take, this is why the placebo effect works, because somebody believes they're getting better and they get better. So your thoughts are very powerful. Now, to show you a visual of that, this right here these are gold atoms. Each one of these is an atom of gold, and it's being separated, okay? Now, there are brilliant people. I mean, they claim to be. I think they're brilliant, but some of them are lying to us about certain things, but we'll use this one as an example. Elon Musk. Everyone says he's brilliant. I believe he's a very smart individual, but I think he's lying to us. Whether he has to or he's choosing to is up for debate. Not to go off on a tangent, but he's claiming that we're using rockets and that's advanced. Rockets are ancient technology. I have a diagram from 1400s showing you how to build a rocket. You look at the Vedas. They're talking about rockets hundreds of thousands of years ago in the Vedas, but there's proof that we've used rockets for hundreds of years. It's ancient technology. So what we have is actually 0-point energy. That is modern. That's advanced. That being said, we've always had it. Just a lot of us have been kept in the dark. So that's my issue with Elon Musk right there, is he's saying, we need billions of dollars to do these trips to Mars on rockets. That's distraction. He may be doing that purposely, slowly rolling out the truth to people so they don't go in shock. But the point of all this is, him and many others say that our world is a illusion. It's a simulation. They link it towards like a computer program. Look at the movie The Matrix, the trilogy, the documentary is what they were. The reason I'm showing you this is because the physical reality is an illusion. We are energy created. We are energy creating physical matter. It's really just ether being vibrated by consciousness to take shape as this slow, dense physical matter. So what you're seeing here is gold separating, and you're going to watch these. See how these are smaller looking? Because these two atoms, this chunk here and this chunk on the left, they are separating, and this is the bond between them. You're going to see atoms here just flickering out, just disappearing. So when it's no longer suiting these bulk of gold, they disappear back into the ether, on and off. And that's what a lot of these brilliant people say, is our bodies are literally on off, flickering into existence, because your vibration, your consciousness is manifesting this physical body and all physicality. This desk is not solid. It's made of atoms, just like this gold. But my consciousness believes it is, and it will make it feel solid to me. But in reality, it's an atom just like this. Watch. So now you're seeing them disappear right here. See this just flickering out, gone. It's like you're turning off a TV. This one's wobbling. See, it's a change in frequency. Once the frequency changes, they flicker out. Bloop. And you see, as it stretches more, you're going to see more of them flickering out. We are atoms. Everything is atoms. Mainstream science agrees with this. So, look, they turn on and off. Some just pop up there, because this is accumulation of energy, which creates matter. Here, it popped up there. They're just literally flickering in and out of existence. We are living in a hologram, and that's not to be, put it down by any means. This is a beautiful simulation we live in, but the truth is that this is not home. This is somewhere to come here, play, do your karmic lessons, learn, experience life, and then go home. And we're seeing right here physical proof that matter, atoms, flicker in and out of existence. This is through an electron microscope. And you are literally seeing gold atoms pop into existence and disappear. That's just like the tumor I showed you a minute ago, if these two gold atoms, these two clumps of gold, of all these atoms here on the left and right of the screen, decide to separate, a bond between them is no longer necessary. So if they're deciding to separate, they are going to shift, and this bond is going to disappear. If a woman is out of balance, eating fast food, eating a lot of meat, carcass, dead flesh, putting a lot of chemicals on her body, makeups, things like that, breathing in toxins, anything that's going to make you acidic or out of balance, well, the body's eventually going to say, I need to tell this person to stop living this way. We need to be back in balance. So it's going to present tumors, growths, imbalance. First, body becomes acidic. When it's acidic, it divides cells incorrectly. Therefore, it's teaching that body to either get back in balance or die off and, flicker out of existence. You don't want perpetual imbalance. That's not how this works. So, when her body's out of balance and she found out that there was an issue, she genuinely wanted to feel better and heal. When somebody gets a diagnosis of cancer, there's two options. Either you say, I'm going to fight this and win, I'm going to overcome it and heal my body, or you feel like woe is me and feel like a victim and then fall apart. So we just saw that gold atom separate right there at the end completely. Let's watch that one more time. And bloop, gone. See, it's separated, it's moving, whole thing's wobbling. They realize, see how much stronger the left and right look now? How much more defined those atoms? The charge that was here bonding is being added to each molecule, and they separate. So as these atoms are disappearing, these atoms are strengthening, because that energy is forming on this side or that side. And ready, it's almost, it's gone. Now watch the left and right. See the reaction now? Now they're their own atoms, separate, molecules, sorry. Okay, now we have that. So we get it that this reality, we just saw visual proof, is flickering in and out of existence, which means so do tumors and cancer, things that we don't want in existence. They flicker in and out of existence, but they're there for a reason. Like I said, if you're living out of balance, you need something to let you know you're out of balance. Tumors, gout, diabetes, arthritis, baldness. There's a lot of things teaching us that we're out of balance. These are receipts for you to look at and take account of the transactions. Ooh, I had fast food this week. I had this. I didn't, but I'm saying people in general. What was last? I think the last fast food I had was Chipotle, probably a year ago. Besides that, it's been 4 or 5 years since I've had, the main fast food places we think of. So glad I'm not eating that anymore. That was not food. So back to this. If you're eating those toxic feed and you're living out of balance, your body is going to need to remind you. And that's what all these bugs are. That's what all these tumors are, everything else. This, what we're looking at now, is Dr. Jerry Tenant. He's explaining voltage. So your body has charge, like those gold atoms we just saw separate, blink in, out, on, off, ebb and flow, yin and yang, masculine, feminine. The masculine creates, the feminine destroys. And it's not like that. That's the extremes, but the masculine pushes outward and the feminine shapes. Now, if the feminine is out of balance, it's going to destroy. If the masculine's out of balance, it's just going to keep growing without shape. So we need balance. Dr. Jerry Tennant here has proved we can heal everything wrong with the body, anything out of balance with the body, by listening. What is the imbalance? What is the energetic lesson to be learned? Is there the correct minus 20 to minus 25 millivolts, as you see here in the middle, which is normal? Or are you above minus 20 millivolts, which is pain and degeneration? Why, you say? Well, actually, let's do this. Before we get into that, let's go to the board. That's not the one I want to be on. Microsoft, what are you guys doing? I want to enter a pin. Want to be difficult, don't you? All right, the board we're looking for right here. Okay. To help us understand what I am saying, we are going to go to the water side of things. Right there, that's the picture I'm looking for. Okay, what we see here, this top red oxygen, active oxygen in your body, as it's going past the cell, active oxygen steals electrons from healthy cells. That's what we call, why we need oxygen in our body. It's one of the reasons. It's a mover. It vibrates things, gets shit flowing, moving. It will take electron charge from a cell. Damaged cells or free radicals steal electrons from other healthy cells, thus perpetuating the problem. So if your body's acidic, if your body's out of balance, or if meaning your charge is out of balance, like this here, above minus 20 millivolts. When you're above minus 20 millivolts, that means your body, the free radicals, oxygen, is actually pulling charge from your cells. So a cell becomes a free radical. That's what we have when we're acidic. Positive 20 millivolts is real bad, but anything above minus 20 millivolts is pulling. It's creating free radicals. Your cells are imbalanced, which then makes tumors and other issues. Now, on the other side of things, right here in the middle, when voltage is minus 20 to minus 25 millivolts, you're feeling good. which means alkaline water in your body transfers cell charge back to the cells. So a free radical goes from being out of balance to a balanced cell, which means it's no longer a free radical. Repaired cells are rendered harmless, aiding in the elimination of free radicals and related disease. So basically, you are a math equation flickering in and out of existence based on your conscious co-creative ability and how you're living. If you're living in balance, you're going to show it by your body. Your body's going to show that. So Dr. Jerry Tenant gets into this. Now here, minus 50, pain and healing. Minus 50 volts is when you have so much energy in your body, it's actually adding and healing. So you have more alkaline water, you have more CMOS, healthy CMOS. You have, what are some other ones that are going to help with that? Moringa, spirulina, plants that are designed to add, to bring nutrients to you. Stinging nettle, incredible. Cannabis, another one. Hemp, another one. Burdock. There's so many. We're not going to go into it all, but so basically, this is the math equation of your body. If your body's above minus 20 millivolts, it's taking from cells. You're subtracting money from the bank account. If your body is at minus 20 to minus 25, you're neutral. If it's at minus 50 millivolts, which means more electrons, giving more electrons, you're down here. You're alkaline. Your body's in balance and harmony. And healing if you're at the minus 50. That's when your cells are regrowing. For example, my back, the cells around my spine where they carved everything and put screws in and all that, those are at minus 50 pretty much all the time now because I'm healing and rebuilding them. And I'm doing things to keep it that way, to help my body.
So
let's listen to Dr.
my
Jerry.
thumb gets busy and it makes new cells. It replaces those I smashed with a hammer, goes back to minus 25 millivolts, and I'm a happy camper. But on the other hand, if when I smash my thumb, if the power supply going to the thumb is inadequate to provide the minus 50 millivolts I need to make new cells, then my thumb won't heal, and I'm stuck in chronic disease. You see that? So I can take all the pills I want, I can do all the surgery I want on the thumb, but it'll never get well until I do what? Insert enough electrons to get me up to minus 50 millivolts. And so if you understand what I just told you about the thumb, you understand basically my whole lecture. So I can go home now. Oh, no, wait a minute. Still a little bit.
So, to give you, I'm going to link this in the description box, but to give the synopsis, like he just said, when your cells are damaged, they are above minus 20 millivolts. If your body is in balance and harmony, minus 20 to minus 25 millivolts, which equates to 7.35 to 7.45 pH. You want your blood pH to be in the right balance, the resonance. If your body's minus 50 millivolts in certain areas where you have injuries, that means it's healing. If there's not enough energy flow due to, I'm going to explain this in the next video we show, if your body is acidic, if your body is, when your body's acidic, it's stealing charge from itself. It's also breaking down the mucous membrane. This next guy here, nope, not her, right there. Oh, I didn't watch this whole video, so let me see. Oops,
today, I'm going to show you
commercial break. Dr. Sebi, the main thing I've learned from him,
and I'm glad that everyone who's listening to this is able to join us. And this looks like it's going to be in sort of.
I decided to enter the field of natural medicine.
Dr. Sebi was a brilliant man. They say he passed. I hope it's not true. I know a lot of people they say passed probably didn't leave. They're still here, but we'll see. alkaline body, 7.35 to 7.45 pH. So same thing Dr. Jerry Tenant said before him. You need the right charge or pH. Dr. Sebi found this as well. When your body's acidic, the mucous membrane, which you have a membrane all around your body, that way your body can, you have fascia and mucus, and otherwise your skin would not move. It would not be flexible and bendy and stretching. That mucous membrane, like any kind of mucus, is broken up by acidic things. So if you have like a really, if you're in cooking, when you have something real chunky and like a sour cream or something, a cream, and you want to dissolve it, break it down, you use an acid, because if it's real chunky like alkaline, it's vibrating slow. You add energy by adding something acidic, which vibrates faster. It dissolves it. It brings it back to neutral. So same thing happens in our bodies. If you're eating and drinking and thinking and feeling acidic things, you are breaking down the mucous membrane. You are chewing it up. And when that mucous membrane that's designed to be right here in your hand or in your lungs or in your eyes, when that mucous membrane is broken up, it starts floating around like cottage cheese through your body. When you got a bunch of mucus flowing around your body like cottage cheese where it doesn't belong, and you're not cleaning your body out naturally, so you're not drinking spring water, you're not having like the tea I drink, Life Change tea, incredible for you. But all of these things are helping your body move that mucus, the garbage stuff that's got to get out of there. You want the mucus, but not when it's traveling around your body broken up because you're acidic. If you're living like pretty much the main Western style living of eating fast food, punching the clock, getting to work, and stressed about bills and everything else, eating a lot of sugar, as they say right here, your body will be acidic, which means the mucous membrane will break down, which means the mucous membrane, like cottage cheese, will flow throughout the body, and eventually it will build up. You'll have a dam of cottage cheese built up. If you've ever seen stagnant water in nature, what happens? Moss, mildew, bacteria, mold, viruses, so they say. Bacteria for sure. It's my mind wanted to go 3 different places right there. It's upsetting because this should be common knowledge. I thought it was, but from my doctor's experience, it's not. Bronchitis is caused by mucus buildup in the lungs. People wearing masks right now, you're creating a problem. Acidic conditions. If you're drinking Red Bull energy drinks or Monster or all these other energy drinks, you eat a lot of sugar. Drinking pop, a lot of sugar. That makes your body acidic, which then makes the mucous membrane chew up and get stuck all over the body. When that's built up, like in your lymphatic system or in your chest or in your eyes, wherever it may be, when it builds up, it becomes stagnant, which means there's electricity is not flowing. It's got resistance. It's hitting a resistor, a wall. So your electricity, where you want minus 20 millivolts, is now hitting something, bunch of mucus, and it's not flowing, which means that charge is dissipating. And then you become on the positive side of positive 20 millivolts, which is then where cancer comes from, because your cells are acidic, the energy is not flowing, and then they become divided incorrectly because they're trying to survive. So Dr. Sebi explains this beautifully in a lot of lectures. I'll link a couple of them in this video when we're done. I just wanted to show you his face. I haven't watched this video myself, so I'm not going to play it out because I'm not sure where to put it for you. But I'll share a couple that I have watched and this one just so we can all check it out together. Okay, there was another one. All right here. Cymatics. So the reason I'm showing this video, excuse me, your body is water flickering in and out of existence like the gold atoms I showed you earlier. And it's powered by sound, by vibration. It's shaped by vibration, by thought, by emotion, by voice, the vocal words. So I'm showing you this video to show you Sound waves literally shaping water. And once you see it happening here, imagine it happening in your body, because how much water's in your body? Literally about 80% of this body is water being structured by my consciousness and shaped with it. So let's watch this. See that? So flowing water, sound applied to it. A sound wave applied to that water and it moves it. Electricity moves water. Sound moves water. Energy. Water is energy. Everything's energy. But so that means why wouldn't energy affect energy? It all affects everything. Everything affects everything. It's beautiful. And the only way we got convinced of this is to separate us from the knowledge that we are source, that we are infinite co-creators in this reality. So you're going to see sound shaping water, fire. Just keep watching. It's a great video, by the way. Look at that. That's beautiful. Look at that. Sound moving water, shaping sand, salt. What you just saw is cavitation. So that's another video I want to look up after this. Sonoluminescence. Let me pull it up before I forget it, because that's a good one. Here we go. All right. So we saw.
I saw sonoluminescence was in a darkened room. I was transfixed to look at this spherical flask of fluid.
What you're seeing is sound waves being directed into water to create a bubble. It's a cavitation. It's a hollow space, because sound moves water, and then when you turn it off, it collapses and creates light, because it's all the same thing. Everything is ether. It's all the dielectric field that we live in.
And you look into the center, and in the center see a glowing blue-purple light, which can be seen with the unaided eye.
This is how stars are made. This is what stars are. There's ether. Everything's ether. Water. Energy. Infinite potential to be whatever it needs to be. And based on the sound and resonance and frequency of the planets and the stars and everything else around it, and consciousness more importantly, you will then get shape of a bubble, a water bubble, or a cavity, which creates light. This is how stars are made.
It looked like a star in the heavens.
There you go. That's why it looks like a star in the heavens, because it is. This music of the spheres.
Seth Putterman called it the star in a jar, a tiny spot of bright light contained in a flask of liquid.
Sound creating a cavity.
This star in a jar is made when a sound wave is passed through a small bubble inside a flask of liquid. And this sound wave makes the bubble do something remarkable. First it expands, then it collapses. And this collapse happens so violently that vapor molecules trapped inside the bubble slam together and heat up so much that the bubble gives off an incredible burst of heat and light, several thousand times a second.
So, the sun, all the stars in the sky, they're all connected. Everything's in water, ether. And based on the push and pull of all the other stars and planets and consciousness, these stars are creating a bubble and collapsing nonstop. So so the people who are the out of balance egos, in my opinion, the ones that are telling us half truths, they're like, oh, it's this, but it's really that, but it looks the same almost. They're saying that stars are created by gravity, so nuclear energy exploding and then gravity pulling it back in like a heartbeat, and it's creating that what we see as the sun. They're telling you the right movements, but they're using the wrong ingredients. What you're actually seeing is ether, which is everywhere. You've never been out of it. It's all vibration, water. And you're seeing sound, give it shape. Vibration, consciousness, give it shape. And as it moves, it creates light. And we get heat and everything else. It's beautiful, actually.
Giving the appearance of a star.
Okay, just want to show you guys that. We'll go back to Cymatics. Everything is shaped here with sound. Water is being shaped by sound. Like that. It goes from a straight line to corkscrew spiral. Certain sound waves create certain patterns. By understanding what sound creates what pattern, you can heal everything. Bring it all back into balance. So what does your jet plane flying by with the exhaust that you're breathing in sound like to your body? In my opinion, it's chaotic. It's going to make my body acidic because I'm breathing in a toxic vibration. And again, what is that toxic vibration? Well, jet fuel is comprised of atoms, molecules, and then atoms if you get lower and lower, which are just like the gold atoms. They're all the same type, different but the same. It's the same principle, different amounts of energy included in each one of them. So that gold atom vibrating a certain frequency being applied to your body is different than the vibration of the jet fuel. So every vibration is different. Every vibration affects your water differently, and therefore your body reflects it. Your body is a reflection of this, of what you're doing. Touch a little bit more. See, salt. Cymatic pattern. So 432 hertz versus 440 hertz. If you look at that up, we could look that up too, actually. This was one of my favorite images, but 440 has some chaos going on in here. Out here it's alright, the outer shell, but the inner shells are not. Look at this 432. So our music was shifted from the Nazis' World War II time from 432 to 440. So if everything you're listening to, or most of the music you listen to, is creating this pattern in water versus that pattern in water, what is your body going to reflect? It's going to reflect more chaos than organization. So the same thing happens with salt. All matter. It's being affected by the sound waves. Same with your body. You see how cool that was? See the different tones as it changes? You're shaping matter. And it happens that fast. You can heal everything that quick. Like the tumor we saw heal.
Existence solely and completely to sound.
What do you say?
Everything owes existence sound.
Everything owes its existence to sound, he said. Now, if you look at my previous videos, we don't want to pull that up now. We're in the middle of something, but I said the same thing in lesson 1. Everything is sound. Sound powers it all. It's ether being vibrated by sound, which actually works with electricity. What you're seeing here, that's how your atoms work in your body. Electron would be this thing right here. This would be the nucleus. Protons and neutrons with a water bubble. Ether bubble, structured water. That's what all atoms are. Cells, all of it. So a cell, we're talking about right now, would have a nucleus here with your DNA, chromosomes, and they would be vibrating at a certain frequency based on what you eat, think, feel, do. And then they interact with the ether around them, which is right here, which creates electrons. So if you're a gold atom, you have X amount of protons and neutrons because you're gold. If you're carbon, you have X amount of electrons, protons and neutrons and electrons based on carbon. So this frequency in here dictates the frequency out here, which is your electrons, your interaction with the ether. So electrons, they say, it's hard, you can never pinpoint them. It's hard to see them. They disappear and come back around. They reappear, disappear, because everything is being manifested fast. It appears and disappears. It's part of the hologram, the illusion of this world. It's still very beautiful and complex and a symphony of vibration, but it is a dream. It is illusion. So when you're seeing this nucleus connecting out here to this man's hand, that imagine the hand is actually the ether, and this could be gold, carbon, anything you want to name it, or a human cell. It's interacting with the ether out here, which is its environment, based on the frequency, based on the pH, based on the electrical charge. So everything affects everything. Looks like the sun, doesn't it? Because as above, so below, as within, so without. The sun is a reflection of your cells. Your cells are a reflection of the sun. It's all the same. Come up to the fire part here, I think. Oh yeah, here it comes. Let's pull this up real quick. I spelled that wrong. Let's see if we get anything anyway. Do we want to, hold on. What I'm looking for is, let me see, sound gun to, wow, I am not spelling or typing correctly at the moment, but we got there. All right, here's the video I'm showing you guys. Pardon my outstanding spelling at the moment. This is a video of sound.
We're both graduating from the Electrical and Computer Engineering Department at George Mason University this coming May. We're here, we're just going to test out our device that we use that uses sound frequencies to extinguish flames.
I see this device being applied to a lot of things. First off, I think in the kitchen, it could be on top of a stovetop. But eventually, I'd like to see this applied to maybe swarm robotics where it'd be attached to a drone. And that would be applied to forest fires or even building fires where you wouldn't want to sacrifice human life.
Professor Brian Mark really stepped in to help us.
Just gave us a lot of support.
Look at that.
I think as a whole, engineering is really just finding solutions finding simple solutions to complicated problems. You know, engineering is all about finding a way to make the
Good work, guys. So
possible.
They're using sound to suppress fires. Here they're using sound shaping fire. So the point is, this is a cool part, we'll just play out. The point is, sound affects everything. So understanding sound, cymatics, vibration, you can heal, bring your body back to balance. And one of the ways you do that is by making sure the electricity flows properly. And these guys are going to show you right here, electricity flowing properly. So electricity is energy flowing through the ether. Imagine there's a sea of energy around you, and there's a little path to squeeze through it. Imagine like if you were kids if you guys live in an area where there's a lot of snow in wintertime, but I remember we used to dig tunnels through the snow and build igloos and dig tunnels through to the other igloos, so I'd connect igloos with tunnels. So it's almost like that, finding the path of least resistance in the snow to climb through. Well, electricity does the same thing through the ether. When you have ether, everything's water moving, vibrating, you need a path to cut through. That's why lightning goes in the path as it does. Energy's going to go regardless. It's looking for a weak point, a tunnel to get through. And same thing in our bodies. If the tunnels are all blocked up with mucus, energy's got to go somewhere else, which means you have imbalance, which means your body's acidic and out of balance, and then we've already get into that, but it's all connected. That's the important thing. The best thing I could say about this video is everything's connected, and studying one subject or two subjects is never going to get you the whole picture. You study all of them, look at the big picture, and then it just clicks. It's beautiful. Alright, that's enough of that. Let's go back to the board real fast. So we touched on this. I like right here. Here's your path of least resistance between the cell wall. Water structured properly will make it through the cell wall. Water structured improperly won't make it through the wall. So it's like electricity flowing through your body. If there's mucus in the way, it's not going to make it through. If the body's open and channeled properly and you're grounding in nature, connecting barefoot to the earth once in a while, or hopefully all the time, but more than we are, your body's going to be in balance more. And you're not adding acidity to break down the mucous membrane. You're going to be in balance more if you're not doing that. So there are people well, here, let's go to this real quick. I made it in a previous video. sound of somebody's voice and their intention can change the shape of water. This is water molecules being flash frozen after these not only words but intentions put into the water, and it shapes like this. So everything is being shaped by our intent. Here's a cymatic pattern, and here's tomato. The cymatic pattern is giving shape to the tomato. The energetic thought, emotion of a tomato, of consciousness manifesting tomatoes, us, source, manifesting a tomato, putting that energy into the ether, creates a pattern like this, which then coalesces minerals and molecules and water to create this pattern. So everything is connected. There are no mistakes, there are no accidents. It's if you understand it or you don't understand it. If you understand it, you know everything's connected, everything's one. If you do not know that, things seem random, things seem accidental. You seem like you're a victim to things. None of us are victims. The only victim exists is when you're in ignorance. But if you understand, you're not a victim. Here again, sound, levitating styrofoam balls. This is ultrasonic frequencies from this speaker here reflecting off of this plastic or glass, I don't know what that is. And by going back and forth, they create cavitation levels based on the harmonics. And then you can float anything, but here they're using styrofoam balls. You could float planets, and that's how planets do float and connect with each other. Sound, electricity. That's how Vimanas work, ships that they call anti-gravity. That's how it works. So, all right, everybody. Oh, what I was gonna say is I don't want to go in a negative world, but we'll go over here for a moment. There are people, not saying names, but here's a couple of them. There's another one, and these people are attempting to bring us out of balance by keeping us in ignorance, by removing us from information. So these are the guys and girls. It's all races, religions, and I don't like that word race either. Race, it's like who are we racing against? They created that word as well to divide us. So a German versus a Puerto Rican versus a Canadian versus a Nigerian versus a Vietnamese. It's what race are you? I'm not racing anybody. I'm not running trying to beat anybody. We're all in this together. We're all equal. There is no race. Stop with the racing around shit. Stop with the running around, the illusions. Go within, find your truth, or don't. It's your free will. You're here to do what you want. I'm here to learn as much as I remember as much as I can and share that with everyone so that they can remember and navigate properly. So, I think we covered enough today. I will talk to you guys in the next video. Thank you very much. I love you all. Be well.